Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk, and today I want to show you a couple things that we did in a class that I went to yesterday. We made rosaries. So that's one that I made. This one I made when I came home, and this one I made while we were there. They're Anglican rosaries, or Episcopalian rosaries, not Catholic ones. There's a little bit of a difference. Mainly how many beads are there. And I thought, so I'll show you a little bit about what my inspiration was. My inspiration comes from this book. And so if you caught my video today, I chatted about the Sisters of St. John Divine and a program that they've got for Christian women to go spend a year living along with the sisters. And anyway, while I visited the convent, I bought this book called Bead by Bead, The Ancient Way of Praying Made New. And it's got gorgeous pictures and talks all about praying the Anglican Rosary. She's a jewelry artist. And so I thought it would be really fun to make them. And so I got online, and you can get online and Google how to make an Anglican Rosary. There's directions in the book too, or I'm not sure if there's directions in the book. I don't think there's actually directions in the book. But it talks about what beads you have. And so I just Googled how to make a rosary, and voila, I came up with instructions on how to make an Anglican rosary. And so an Anglican rosary has the cross, an inventory bead, 4 cruciform beads, and 7 weak beads, and for a total of 33 beads, which is the number of years Jesus is said to have walked on the earth. And the 7 weak beads, I believe, represent the seasons of the church. Okay, I've paused and I've consulted my book, and I can now tell you what the beads are for. So the smaller beads, there's 4 groupings of 7 beads called the weak beads. And they represent the weeks, the 7 days of the week, the number of perfection, the number of church sacraments, baptism, confirmation, communion, ordination, marriage, confession, and anointing of the sick, and the 7 seasons of the church calendar. So Advent, Christmas, Epiphany, Lent, Holy Week, Easter, Pentecost, and Pentecost. And then the bigger beads are called cruciform beads, and when you hold out your rosary in a circle, they form a cross. And they represent the 4 times of daily prayer in the Episcopal Book of Common Prayer, morning, noonday, evening, and compline. And the number of seasons, the 4 elements, earth, wind, fire, and water, and the 4 directions, the 4 cardinal virtues, prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance, and the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So there you have the beads that make up the Anglican Rosary. Now, I thought you might want to come along with me as I make a Anglican Rosary. So first of all, depending on the size of the beads that you use and the holes that they've got, you'll want a needle. I'm going to use a beading needle and some beading thread because some of the beads that I'm going to use may be a little bit smaller. And you want about 4 feet of thread. It's not going to hurt you to have a little bit more than you need, and then you're not going to run out. I haven't had the problem of running out, but just in case. And then you're going to thread your needle. I'm going to pause this because it's going to take me a minute and I'm going to look foolish. Okay, I wasn't really worried about looking foolish. I was worried about it taking a really long time. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to double the thread. So you have the needle down on one end, and at the other end, get a clothes peg or a clip or a piece of tape. I found that tape works the best. I don't have any in close proximity to me. So I'm going to use this little clip. It's like one of these little paper clips. Not a paper clip, but a, paper holding clip. And I'm gonna just catch the two ends there. And this is, and what you want to do is when you have your clothes peg or your tape, you want about a 4-inch tail. Try this again. You want about a 4-inch tail. And so you're going to clip that. So now you've got about 4 inches, that's maybe a bit longer than 4 inches, your clip and your needle. Okay, next you want to pick out your beads, and I've picked out my beads and a cross. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that you can make any kind of prayer beads with whatever religious or spiritual beliefs you practice. If you just want a string of beads to walk you through specific mantras or whatever your spiritual practice is, you can alter this to fit what your needs are, or modify it to meet your needs. So I'm starting with this little glass cross that I got off of Amazon a while ago. And I'm taking my string, and the first thing I am doing is putting my cross on. And then I'm going to put 5 just small little white seed beads. They're a little bigger than seed beads, but they're going to be sort of my spacer beads. So I've got my cross and my 5 beads, and then I'm going to put on my inventory bead, and I think I'm going to use this blue turquoisey bead. Find a hole, and I'm going to put another 5 smaller white beads on. And then I'm going to put my first cruciform bead on, which is another blue. I'm using another blue bead there. And then I'm going to put 3 white beads on, just a little spacer beads. And then I'm going to put on my 7 weak beads. Now you can put the 7 weak beads on all together, you could put a spacer between each one, but I'm going to put them all together. So I'm going to put 7 weak beads on. I'm going to use these red ones. I'll show you in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and now I'm going to put 3 more of the little white ones on, just to kind of act as my spacers. And then I'm going to put on another cruciform bead, followed by 3 more white spacer beads. And then 7 more weak beads. And that's sort of the pattern we follow till we have 4 sets of weak beads. 1 set of weak beads, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Double check that. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to put 3 more spacers on and another cruciform bead. 1, 2, 3, And I'll just fast forward the next part till I'm done, because you don't need to listen to me count these beads. 3 more white beads for the spacers, and now we have 4 sets of 7 weak beads. So now we have everything on our rosary to join it into a circle. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your needle and you're going to come back and you're going to go through your first cruciform bead and all your other beads right to your cross. Pull it nice and snug, and then you can get rid of your little clip and get that nice and snug in there. There we go. Just a little pull in here, so let's get rid of that. Okay, and then we're going to do a surgeon's knot, so right side over and through twice and pull, and left side through and over twice, and nice and snug. And then you're going to thread these back up through these. You're going to wind the tails back up through at least the inventory bead, but if you like it, you can even go right up there, the first cruciform bead, and pull that needle out, pull it nice and snug, get your scissors, give it a little snip, and then do the same with those other 2 little tails. And then when you have it all snipped up nice, you'll want to put just a little bit of glue right at where those where the knots are. And so what I'm going to do is I'm undoing my needle, and I'm going to put my needle, thread my needle with the tail. And then I'm going to repeat that through and wind that tail up through all of the beads right up there. Give that a nice pull. Pull. Pull the needle out. Give it a nice close snip. And then I've got one more tail to wind up. Okay, just finished snipping the last thread, and there is our rosary. So stay tuned till the next section of this video, and I will talk about praying the rosary. Till next time.